morning. Good morning. Good morning to everyone online as well. Happy Canada Day. Woo! Yes. Yes. This beautiful, beautiful country that we live in that is, we are so blessed to live in this country that, really, let's first of all honor the founders of this country, our First Nations. And then you think about all the people from all different walks of life, from all different countries, all kinds of religions, all sorts of ideas, and with this whole idea, what am I trying to say here? With this understanding that we, as Canadians, we embrace and we welcome people into our hearts, all people. So that's why I'm proud to be a Canadian. Yes, and for those of you who don't know me, my name is Helen Vello. I am the spiritual director here at the Center for Spiritual Living. And what is the Center for Spiritual Living? Toronto's hub for living well. We celebrate community and connection, happiness, wellness, and inspiration with the understanding that there's only one thing going on, this beautiful creative energy that is all around us, in us, through us, expressing as us. And so I welcome anyone who's here for the first time. Thank you for being here and bringing your consciousness to be with us on a Sunday. Thank you to everyone on Facebook. And now, what you've all been waiting for, announcements. Yay! I'm trying to make it exciting. So we have an online class, The 4 Agreements, based on the book by Don Miguel Ruiz with Sonia Byrne. It starts on Tuesday, July 5th, and runs through to August 21st. It is an online class, so you can do it from your cottage, you can do it from your balcony, you don't have to be here at the center, and it is $79, and you can sign up for that online or in the Live Well store. Now also, yes, July 10th? July 10th. No, I have you starting 5 days earlier. No, you know what you're going to do? You're going to start on July 5th reading the book and then show up for class on the 10th. Thank you, Tony. Also, Sonia's going to be here. She'll be speaking on July 15th, and then what she's going to offer is a workshop. It'll be in this room, and it is a workshop on the alchemy of affirmative prayer. Now, affirmative prayer, I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. I'm also going to be talking about the Fountain of Youth a little bit later. They are connected. Also, we have upstairs, one person's junk is another person's treasure. So, we cleaned out some closets. I love to clean out closets. Yes, I do. I even have a story about that later on in my talk. So what we've done is we've cleaned out some closets, and upstairs is an array of stuff. Like if you're really into paper clips, we have enough paper clips that you could take to last you a lifetime. There are also two TVs. Oh. One is on the wall. You can still take it. Has a little remote with it. There are some chairs. There's all kinds of office supplies. You go up, take what you want, and leave your donation to the center in the basket. There's some stools, all kinds of stuff that I'm sure would be your treasure. And if you come upstairs with me, I'll have it all sold, because I'll tell you what you need. That already happened to Lise the other day. I took her up to show it, and she's like, I said, they're your color, take them. So for the next 3 weeks, the upstairs marketplace is yours to explore. And with that, I am now going to invite the band and our singer today, Camilla Hippolyte, to take us into our invocation song. So take it away, guys. And I invite us all now to take a breath in. Breathe in into that beautiful, open, soft, welcoming heart space that resides within each and every one of us. As we breathe in and allow our hearts, our souls to expand and remember the dreams of our ancestors, the dreams of our mothers and fathers, our grandfathers, our grandfathers, the dreams that also reside within our own soul, the dreams that reside within our children's souls, our grandchildren's souls. This is the absolute energy of creation, of possibility, of oneness. This energy of life that moves through us, as us, in every cell and fiber of our being. is the energy of the cosmic mother, the cosmic universe that goes beyond all imagination, for it is eternal, it is infinite. It is the grace, the love, the peace, and the presence of the divine. And so, yes, as we gather here today on Canada Day, and we remember who we are, remember that we all have roots in our history, and that there were roots created long before we came along. There were seeds that were planted of new ideas, new possibilities. And we have been blessed to experience in our own life the results of those seeds planted so long ago. And so today, let us know that we too are planting seeds for future generations. Let us be clear that we are planting seeds of love, of expansion, of peace, of oneness. So again, let us breathe into our heart space. Let us say yes in our minds to these seeds of love. And as we have said yes, it's done. It is done. And so we release and let go. Allowing the energy and the love of the universe to flow. And together we say, and so it is. Thank you. And we are going to stand up and sing Holy, Holy Way. You have the words in your program.
Oh, let me love in a holy, holy way.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Great kudos to Julian and Brendan on guitar and keyboards there. You guys rock it out. Thank you. Woo-hoo! Oh, I have the pleasure of inviting up our lead practitioner. She's the head of practitioners as well as our lead practitioner today, always on spiritual principle and so dedicated to doing her work. So I invite you up, Judy Southern. Thank you.
Good morning. Oh, what a crowd. On Canada Day. Wonderful, wonderful. And hello to everybody online. Have you ever tried to be perfect? I'm laughing because I'm not a perfectionist. Everybody who knows me knows I'm just not. Have you ever tried to do something perfectly? I mean, who's the judge anyway of what's perfect and what's not? So there was a really nice quote in yesterday's Science of Mind magazine, and it goes like this: a spiritual path is a journey of progress, not perfection. Others come into my life as reminders that they too are on their path, and my job is to accept them as they are, especially when I find myself wishing that they would change. So here we are, living our lives, and I know we are here to grow, to evolve, to expand beyond what we are each and every day. And in doing so, to allow ourselves to make mistakes. But remember, after all, anyone who never makes any mistakes is never really going to make anything. Mistakes are a part of how we evolve. You know, sometimes we look back and we see ourselves as flawed. So what is a flaw? But something about ourselves we don't like. We may regret. Something that we perceive to not be good enough as having mistakes. Something we don't like about ourselves and want to change. So I wonder if perfectionism is fear of making a mistake, fear of what others may think. The person who doesn't make mistakes will probably never make anything. When I was about 7 years old, my family lived on a 100-acre farm. It wasn't our farm, but we lived there for a few years. And regardless of the circumstances, it was a great place for a kid to grow up. So I used to find myself just walking this huge expanse of land, and I'd lie in the grass in the summertime, and I'd look up at the sky, and I would think, I am me, 7 years old. And it occurred to me, and I'm having these feelings, I am me, and it occurred to me that someone on the other side of the world was thinking the same thing. I am me. I'm having these feelings. And that's as far as it got at age 7. Knowing that that person might be thinking the same thing as me. So I was a bit puzzled, but nothing more came of it. But looking back in my spiritual practice now, I see it now as growing into becoming aware of our similarities, of the divine within us, seeing how we are connected to everyone, and how we all have these thoughts and these feelings, and maybe feelings of fear and not being enough and not being perfect. And I saw everyone as having these thoughts of me trying to be perfect. And I believe trying to be perfect can cause a lot of anxiety, and it holds us back from our magnificence. Have you ever seen Japanese pottery called kintsugi? And there's another name for it too. And in this art form, they take broken pottery and they fill in the cracks with gold and silver. And they treat the breakage, the imperfection, as part of that pottery's history, not something to disguise. And they call it golden repair. They emphasize the imperfections with gold. And this is what makes the pottery so beautiful. In fact, more beautiful because of the gold that threads through the cracks. And it's the same with us. We get better with life experiences and mistakes and imperfections, so-called imperfections, our broken dreams, the broken parts of our lives, the disappointments and the hurts and the struggles and the pain and the sadness. These are all occasions for celebration, for shaping us, for emphasizing and enhancing with gold, for seeing how golden all of our life struggles really are and not to regret them. Leonard Cohen said in his song, "Everything has cracks. That's how the light gets in." So I invite you to celebrate whatever you perceive is an imperfection in you. Fill it with golden thoughts. See your beauty, your magnificence. See how your humanity shines through the cracks in your life. Being imperfect is being human. It's being lovable. It's being golden. So living a spiritual path is one of progress, evolution, expansion, not perfection. Know that all the life experiences that seem imperfect are positive and good and what make you who you are. And all the things about you that you think are imperfect are in fact what make you so beautiful, so loving, so imperfectly perfect. Namaste. And we have an affirmation today. It goes like this: I am miraculous just the way I am. Join me, please. I am miraculous just the way I am. I am miraculous just the way I am. So I invite everyone just to be still in the imperfect perfection that you already are. To take a breath. Because I know right here and right now that there is one beautiful, perfect, creative energy that flows through all of life, that operates throughout all of life, everywhere present, all-knowing, all-powerful, and always creating. And it's creating right now perfectly through each and every one of us. And it passes into form as each and every one of us with beautiful, loving perfection. And so knowing who we are, I claim and I know and I declare this beautiful, imperfect perfection that each of us is. And let us embrace all of these parts of us that we don't think are perfect. Let's embrace them and shower them with golden thoughts of love, knowing that this is what makes us lovable and human and magnificent and miraculous. So knowing this truth about each and every one of us, in gratitude for the imperfect perfection that is within each of us and the perfection that is at our core, I release these words to the law of mind, the perfect law of mind. I let it go. I let it be so. And please join me in saying, and so it is.
Judy, that was beautiful, beautiful. Oh. I'm going to invite the band back up for our feature song. One that I think is such a beautiful complement to our theme this month.
Used to think I wanted to be famous, that I'd be recognized out in the crowd. Now I wanna look like love. Oh, I just wanna look more like love. This whole world is spinning crazy. I can't quite keep up. It's the one thing around here that we don't have quite enough of, and I just wanna look a little more like
That was beautiful. Thank you. Oh. Just want to look more like love. I love these lines because to look more like love means to actually show up in life as your divine self, as the truth of who you are. The next line is, so say I am all of my flaws in human form, and yet there's a truer part of me that's absolutely perfect. There is a part of us that is so perfect. And yet we forget that because we weren't, I don't think we were all told that. And that's what was mirrored to us 24/7 growing up, that we are so perfect, and even though we're making mistakes and we're falling down and we're saying the wrong thing or not getting the right marks in school or doing the right thing, it's all okay. It's all okay. There's just, such as Judy said, part of the journey and part of the process of coming back to remembering, who we are. So to look more like love is actually very vulnerable because it's about allowing yourself to be seen fully and completely for all of who you are. And we don't want to do that. How many of us are trying to, no, got to be perfect. Make sure I look really good in this situation. I do the right thing in my job and I look really good so the perfect person will love me and I have all the right things to look perfect. And in my life, I strived for perfection a lot growing up. Part of my childhood and up until my late 20s, I was really involved in dance. I was involved in modern dance. I took ballet. I grew up learning Highland dancing, which is complete precision in every moment. And so I became a really good technician. Really good. But what was missing was the heart, because I didn't have an emotional connection. I was so busy trying to get the perfect technique, I couldn't drop into myself and be all of who I am. So I ended up being very critical of myself because it had to be a higher leg, a stronger point, a more perfect everything, a more perfect body. And I was also very critical of everybody else, of course. Because if I'm critical of myself, I'm going to be critical of others. But the saddest part of all of that is how close-minded I was. There was such a rigidity in my mind of how things had to work that I couldn't connect to the emotional aspect. And that really did, knock the joy out of my sails or out of my point at that point. Because if I were to really let myself be seen in those moments, I think I would have fallen apart. I didn't have the internal strength to not be perfect. And so, man, was that a lot of energy. Yet to be authentic in the world is one of the most courageous acts you can do for yourself, for your well-being. Brene Brown, in her book, The Gifts of Imperfection, has anybody read that? I know our book club has. We just finished reading it. It's a brilliant, brilliant book. And she says, authenticity is a collection of choices that we have to make every day. The choice to show up, the choice to be seen, the choice to speak up and stand up from our authentic place. It is about the choice to show up and be real, the choice to be honest, and the choice to let our true selves be seen. And so, it was interesting in the Science of Mind study group last week, we were talking about, someone had said, well, I don't know what to say. And I had said to that person, I understand. I used to get into groups, and then I tried to convince the group that I used to be an introvert. They didn't buy it. I was like, no, really, I was. And they're like, no, you weren't. I said, well, what would happen for me, though, is I would spend so much time trying to figure out the right thing to say that I couldn't say anything. And then I learned to speak from my heart, and it's all good. Drop down into the heart space, and if I'm really speaking from my heart space, it's okay what I say. So to understand that there is something greater in us than all that negative chatter. And that negative chatter takes place back from the back part of our brain where we are so conditioned to not be enough. To, we're not good enough, smart enough, strong enough, tall enough, skinny enough, fat enough. All those not enoughness is in the back part of our brain, and it's all learned. It is all learned. And I think that's really, really important to understand. It's because of, either we took it in out of something we experienced and interpreted that we're not good enough, or, we had people saying that to us. But it is learned. It is not the truth. So the moment we can open ourselves up to a whole new idea about ourselves, we can embody this new, loving, authentic idea of who we are and live from it. We live in a universe that is not bound by anything. There is nothing that can prevent your revelation about you becoming yourself, you experiencing the truth of who you are the moment that you are willing to accept that truth. And revelation means a new thought. Revelation is healing. Those new thoughts, those new ideas, they shift our energy and they bring about a healing, which is, healing means to reveal love, that we never dreamed possible before. And it's so funny because how are you liking the chairs the way they're set up this time? Isn't that awesome? Yes. That was a revelation. That was a new idea. And it came about on Wednesday night when Carol and I were putting the chairs back for meditation. I said, no, leave that curve there. And then Carol and I, on Thursday, we took every chair apart and we just started moving it and went, oh, the roundedness, the spaciousness. Yes, why didn't we think of this before? We have to be open to a new idea. We are so conditioned to stay in the same place. We go to the ice cream store. How many of you choose vanilla? Put up your hand, honey. How many of you choose chocolate? And how many of you have only like one or two other flavors that you're willing to try? Yeah, but how many flavors are actually in the ice cream store? And how many of you are open to trying a new flavor? Yay, sure, and churros, and then this guy here, yes. And this week you're all going to go and try new flavors. We, honey, have to buy a new flavor of ice cream. We buy the same thing every time. So, it's like opening ourselves up, releasing the old conditioning. So, I met last weekend at the Canadian New Thought Conference an amazing woman, an amazing minister. And she talked about the fountain of youth. And this woman is 90 years old. Her name is Reverend Dr. Sue Rubin. And she grew up in Manhattan. She grew up in a Jewish family that when her brother was killed in the Vietnam War, her parents said, "There is no God. We are not going to synagogue anymore." Then she got married, had 3 children, and moved to California, and then got divorced. So here she was, a single mom with 3 kids, and someone said, "You know what? Why don't you come to a church?" It used to be called Church of Religious Science. She's like, "Okay." And she walked in, and she just felt such an inclusivity and warmness and welcomeness. So she ended up becoming a minister. In 1985, at the age of 57, she moved from California to Edmonton. Why, I don't know. I was born and raised there. My weekend there last week, that was enough for me. But she did. She moved to Edmonton and she opened up a center for spiritual living. At 57, she started a new ministry. Then about 17 years later, she moved back to California, continued in ministry at the Westlake Center, which is now the Global Truth Center that James Mellon runs, who was my ministerial teacher, and continued in ministry and is still in ministry. She gave 3 talks and 1 workshop in 2 days, and she is the hottest. Man, she has nice clothes, I noticed. She has nice clothes. She is so well put together, incredibly articulate, unbelievably articulate, and a firecracker at 90. And she said, the fountain of youth is affirmative prayer. Why? Because we keep our mind open to new ideas, new ways of being, and we shift the energy within us that becomes this continual fountain of energy. And I'd say she's got it going on. So I'm with her. Because affirmative prayer, there is only one mind, one universe, one presence of loving, creative energy. And I am it. We are it. That is steps 1 and 2 of affirmative prayer, right there. And if that's all you said every day, you would be opening up your mind to a whole new idea about yourself. You would be seeing so differently in the world. Because when we speak these words and we have this understanding as well as the unitedness within us, that we are connected to this consciousness that is expansive and it is infinite love. It's always around us, always, always it has our back. And we unify ourselves with that, and we do that with conviction. There is a change in our bodies on a cellular level. Because when we live in fear, we are tightening up our bodies. We are increasing the cortisol in our bodies, and nothing's flowing. I am, we are, and consciousness is everywhere including this incredible body that I have, this incredible body that you have, this incredible mind that we have, this incredible heart that we have. That, when we open ourselves up and we come to that recognition and understanding, you too will be looking really hot at 90. Really, really hot. And that is also why you want to sign up for Sonia's workshop on the 15th, so that you really learn how to utilize this most incredible tool. Incredible tool. So Ernest Holmes said, spiritual healing through affirmative prayer should and can be effective in every area of living. In its use, we do not need to disallow any other form of healing, particularly in connection with physical health. We should leave ourselves open to accept any form of healing, whether it be from medicine, surgery, psychiatry. You said psychiatry a long time ago. I think it would be called therapy these days. Diet or exercise, if we desire it. However, properly understood, all are one, all stemming from God. Every new medicine is just as much a revelation of God for that purpose as is a new interpretation for life or the answer to a prayer. Prayer works. It works when we understand and really connect to our own power within, and we use our mind. For the truth is, God is, I am. God is, we are. And this is what it means to practice love and belonging, because it's all about living with connection. First of all, connection to ourselves. Brené Brown defines connection as the energy that exists between people when they feel seen, when they feel heard and valued, when they can give and receive without judgment, and when they can derive sustenance and strength from relationship. So that is our relationship to ourselves and our relationship to others in life. And what can we do to cultivate our own sense of belonging? Because it is essential. It is essential to our human experience. We have to talk to ourselves. We have to focus our mind. And we have to not listen to, I'll be worthy when I lose 10 pounds. I'll be worthy when I have lots of money. I'll be worthy when I have that perfect relationship. I'll be worthy when I find the right job. I invite you to open yourself up this week to a revelation about yourself, that you are perfect, whole, and complete, and to start to train your mind to go to the truth of who you are every time you have a limiting belief. Every single time. So what I'm going to invite you to do now is close your eyes. If you're comfortable, place your hands on that beautiful heart space of yours and say to yourself, I am worthy now. Not if, not when. I am worthy of love and belonging now, right this minute. Right this minute. And so it is. Imagine every time you have one of those false beliefs show up, that you bring yourself back and you train your mind. I am worthy now, not if, not when, right here, right now. And you know, it's really, really funny how conditioned we are. And I say it's funny because I'm going to tell you a funny story. It is funny how we are so conditioned to the same thing over and over again. And you know, I like to, as Linda said, clean out closets. And I like my closets nice and neat. And so what I did was we had this kind of floppy laundry basket in our closet, and I didn't like it, and clothes would kind of spill out, and everything was all over. So I went and bought a new laundry basket, but it's not in the closet. It is over beside our dresser. And it actually, has a nice lid on it. We can put our pillows on it at night instead of throwing them on the floor. All works really well. Except, as Derek pointed out, my beloved, he said, I still keep going to the closet to put my clothes in there. Because the mind is so trained. And I was doing the same thing. I said, yes, you're right. It's training my mind to go to the new place. And so as we are training our minds, the other thing is that you open up to seeing new things. So Derek says to me, oh, I see you have a lot of shoes in your closet. I'm like, yes, and I wear them all. They're all very important. They're all important. So it is amazing what you might see when you train your mind to go to something else. So this week, anytime, any thought that you are unworthy, that you are unlovable, that you are not good enough, you go, no, I'm going here. I am worthy. I am loving. I am enough. And start training your mind to go to the absolute truth. Are you in? Yeah. All right. And so it is. Thank you. All right, it is time to take out your offering for the center, and I just want to say something about your offering. We are a not-for-profit organization, so any donation that you make is tax deductible. The other thing to know is we as a community, we are, first of all, incredibly grateful for what you donate to the center, and we need it. We need it. We function on donations. So what I invite you to do is take out what you have for the center today, hold it in your hands, and then repeat after me. Divine love honors my gift. I joyously give to my spiritual center. And this is the important part. Knowing it returns to me multiplied abundantly. I am grateful for all my blessings. And so it is. And so I invite you all to stand up, and as the baskets go around, we are going to sing Circulate.
One, two.
I am so grateful. Let us all be grateful for these beautiful blessings in these baskets, the donations, the love, the caring, all the beautiful magnificence that this center is. Grateful because I know that everything in these baskets and everything that is given to this center returns to the giver multiplied so abundantly and allows us to grow and expand and move out into the world and create a world that works for everyone. So grateful for all of this. I release these words, I let it go, and together we say, and so it is.
And it returns to me, multiplied abundantly. It returns to me, multiplied abundantly.
Oh, thank you to all of you for being here today on this very hot Canada Day. Thank you to everyone online. Thank you to the band under the direction of Brendan Swanson, Julian, Wes, Rustin, Kamaya, and thank you to Ken and Patrick, our board members. Thank you to Tony and Mark for greeting. Margaret Ann in the Live Well store. After service cleanup is Hester and Spirit. We have Cohen on sound, Kim on the camera. Thank you, Nick, for your meditation this morning. Judy, for your absolutely brilliant words. Nick is now a licensed spiritual practitioner. Woohoo! Yes, both Lori and Nick passed their oral panels on Monday, so congratulations to both of them. Nick is our community practitioner today, so hey, you want to start feeling young and vibrant and excited about life? Go see Nick! Have a wonderful rest of your Canada Day weekend. Again, thank you. And we're going to take it out with Rome.